Have you ever looked at a world leader and thought, something's not quite right? That their smile doesn't reach their eyes, or their movements seem just a little too rehearsed? Well, you're not alone. For decades, a wild theory has been whispered in the darkest corners of the internet and late-night talk shows. It's a theory so bizarre, so outlandish, that it makes you question everything you thought you knew about power. This is the story of the Reptilians. The core of this theory, popularized by figures like David Icke, is that our world isn't run by humans. Instead, a race of shape-shifting, reptilian humanoids from another dimension has secretly taken control. They walk among us, disguised as our most powerful and influential leaders, presidents, prime ministers, royalty, and CEOs. Their goal: total domination of the human race. And where would be the ultimate seat of power for such an operation? For many believers, the answer is obvious: 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the White House. So, where did this incredible idea even come from? It's not as new as you might think. The concept of serpent-like beings in mythology is ancient. From the serpent in the Garden of Eden to Quetzalcoatl in Aztec culture, snakes and reptiles have often been symbols of knowledge, power, and sometimes deception. But the modern reptilian theory really took off in the 1990s. David Icke, a former sports broadcaster, claimed that these interdimensional beings, which he calls the Anunnaki or the Babylonian Brotherhood, have been interbreeding with human bloodlines for centuries to maintain their grip on power. According to the theory, these reptilian elites are cold-blooded, both literally and figuratively. They are said to lack empathy and thrive on negative energy, which is why theorists argue they orchestrate wars, economic crises, and social division. It's all part of a grand plan to keep humanity in a state of fear and anxiety, making us easier to control. The White House, as the nerve center of the world's most powerful nation, becomes the prime location for these hidden rulers to pull the strings. Proponents of this theory spend hours poring over video footage of politicians looking for proof. They point to what they call glitches in the humanoid disguise. A flicker of the eyes where the pupils supposedly turn into vertical slits, like a cat or a reptile. A strange, unblinking stare. A tongue darting out too quickly, like a lizard catching a fly. Sometimes they'll analyze blurry screenshots or low-resolution videos, claiming to see patches of green, scaly skin beneath the surface. Think about it. How many times have you seen a high-definition video of a president where their eyes look a little strange due to lighting or digital compression artifacts? To a skeptic, it's just a technical glitch. To a believer, it's a momentary slip of the mask, a brief glimpse of the reptilian creature underneath. They'll point to specific presidents and high-ranking officials throughout American history, claiming their family trees connect back to ancient powerful bloodlines that the Reptilians have infiltrated. The theorists also connect this idea to various secret societies. You've heard of them: the Illuminati, the Freemasons, the Bilderberg Group. In the reptilian narrative, these aren't just clubs for the rich and powerful. They are the earthly organizations through which the reptilian overlords manage their human puppets. Meetings that happen behind closed doors aren't just for discussing policy. They're for receiving orders from non-human masters. The White House, with its layers of secrecy and classified information, is seen as the perfect fortress for such a conspiracy. Let's talk about the evidence more specifically. One famous example involved a video of a Secret Service agent during a presidential speech. Believers claimed his head shape and features looked distinctly non-human under the strange lighting. The video went viral, with thousands convinced they were looking at a real-life reptilian guard. Of course, Skeptics quickly pointed out it was likely just an unusual-looking man combined with odd camera angles and poor lighting. Another piece of so-called evidence is the strange behavior sometimes exhibited by politicians. A moment of awkwardness, a weird turn of phrase, or an emotional response that seems out of place can be interpreted as the reptilian brain struggling to mimic human behavior convincingly. They can't quite grasp our nuances, our humor, or our empathy, so every now and then the facade cracks. An odd cough is interpreted as an attempt to reset a voice modulator. A sip of water is seen as a way to regulate a body temperature that is naturally different from ours. Psychologists have a term for this phenomenon, pareidolia. It's the tendency for our brains to see patterns, like faces in clouds, or, in this case, reptilian features in blurry images. Our brains are hardwired to recognize faces and human traits. And when we see something ambiguous, we often fill in the blanks with what we can imagine. When you're actively looking for a conspiracy, you're much more likely to interpret every anomaly, every glitch, every odd moment as proof that you're right. So, is the White House crawling with shape-shifting lizard people? The overwhelming scientific and logical consensus is, of course, no. There is no physical evidence, no credible testimony, and no data to support this theory. It relies entirely on misinterpreting video artifacts, taking quotes out of context, and connecting unrelated dots into a grand, overarching narrative. It's a powerful story, a modern-day myth that taps into a deep-seated distrust of authority. But why is this theory so compelling to so many people? Perhaps it's because it offers a simple explanation for a complex world. It's easier to believe that the world's problems are caused by a single, evil entity than to grapple with the messy reality of human nature, flawed systems, and conflicting interests. If a secret cabal of space lizards is responsible for everything, then we don't have to confront the uncomfortable truth that sometimes humans are the cause of their own suffering. It's a form of ultimate scapegoating. The reptilian theory is a fascinating case study in how ideas spread in the digital age. It's a story that feels larger than life, a blend of science fiction, political thriller, and ancient mythology. It asks us to look at the world around us and question what's real, while it's easy to dismiss it as pure fantasy. Its persistence tells us something important about our own society or fears, our suspicions, and our endless search for answers in a world that often feels chaotic and out of control. So, the next time you watch a press conference from the White House, and you see a politician blink a little too slowly or adjust their tie in a strange way, you might just find yourself wondering, is it just a trick of the light? Or did you just catch a glimpse behind the curtain into one of the wildest mysteries of our time? What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this dive into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more explorations of fascinating mysteries.